Now, as we continue our focus on coalition politics, the eThekwini Council will hold a vote of no confidence against Mayor Mxolisi Kaunda tomorrow. The ANC has 95 seats and opposition parties 127. With this in mind, ActionSA is proposing smaller parties kick the ANC out of power. Among other things, they cite a lack of service delivery. They propose all three parties from the opposition, that's the DA, EFF and IFP, share power and take the positions of Mayor, Deputy Mayor and Speaker. ActionSA's KZN Chair Zwakele Mncwango joins me now to discuss this a bit further. Mr. Mncwango, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Now, we all know that the Mayor will he's the first motion of no confidence this week, but let's first discuss last week's collapsed meeting to elect a Deputy Mayor, which led to that very bizarre response by the Mayor when he was asked why he was late. What, according to your understanding, was the reason the ANC pitched late and the EFF failed to show up?
Look, firstly, it's unfortunate that ANC resulted to become an opposition while at the same time they are in government in eThekwini. They went as far as collapsing the council meeting. So basically, what one gets is that the ANC was not firstly in agreement with the EFF in terms of the approach towards that meeting. But at the same time, there were also proposals within the ANC to give the deputy mayor position to one of the smaller parties, specifically the NFP. But even amongst the ANC themselves, as a caucus, they were not against a decision by provincial leadership, because leadership in the province was saying, give this seat to opposition, and then ANC caucus was then fighting amongst themselves because they were already promised this position. So basically, the collapse of the meeting was not really about service delivery, it was about self-interest and also positions, jockeying for position within the ANC. And the EFF obviously decided to boycott a meeting, trying to wait for national leadership to give guidance. Again, it's a problem of what we call democratic centralism, where caucuses can't make decisions. They must wait for a bigger boss up to make that decision.
But we know at the very least that the Democratic Alliance has taken exception to that conduct, saying, in fact, it amounts to a dereliction of duty. Do you believe there should be some sort of consequences for that action?
Look, definitely. That is why we specifically, I said on council, I called the speaker to really bring charges against the councillors who didn't come for this meeting. Because I can tell you, when we use ICC, we are spending more than $500,000 a day when having council meeting outside City Hall. So on that day, we had a meeting at ICC, meaning that 500 million and above just went on the drain because one, the meeting had to be cancelled, and two, there were even meals prepared for councillors, and those meals were not eaten by anyone. So that's really a challenge. And I think it's for that background, we are saying as ActionSA, we need to intervene, we need honest leaders, we need leaders who are selfless, we need leaders with integrity and ethical leadership. That is why we are proposing, we are saying, how is it possible that we are held to ransom by a party with only 93 seats? Because ANC, remember, they have 95 seats, but two councillors are currently on step aside because of a murder allegation. So they are not attending council because of step aside rules. So meaning there are 95 councillors in council, but the opposition is sitting with power. And I only joined council in December. So I asked myself, how is it possible that all councillors are complaining about ANC, whereas they are sitting with power? 127 councillors keep complaining about 93 councillors. How is it possible? There's something wrong with the system. Hence, we are saying...
So what have you established?
We are proposing...
What have you established to be the problem?
Look, first of all, I think leaders are not brave enough. And also some leaders are self-centered to a point where it's all about themselves, not the public. We must be honest here, because there is no reason why you complain about the ANC, but you wake up in the morning, you go and support the very same ANC, you are saying they are collapsing the municipality. For example, in the last council meeting, the EFF disrupted the meeting, had placards calling for the mayor to be removed, complaining about service delivery. How is it possible that today they are contemplating of bringing the same ANC that last council they were toying about to say they failed deliver services. So it's all about, I can be honest and say, also the money exchange is a problem. I can attest to this because it happened on Thursday, where one of our councillors were offered 250,000 rand just to boycott the meeting because they said, I won't agree with the ANC, but they offered the councillor to say, look, go stay at home, we'll give you 250,000 rand. So that means already the money is at play here. But at what expense? That is why, as ActionSA, we are saying, we are proposing that the three bigger parties that are already on ESCO, which is the DA, the EFF, and the IFP, combined, they make 100 seats. So we are saying, all smaller parties, sit back. Let's not fight power. Let's not ask for any position. Let's allow these three parties to share this the position, because as smaller parties, we have 27 seats. So if 27 seats can support this 100 seats who's already on ESCO, we can able to take the seat and rescue the residents of eThekwini away from the ANC. But I can tell you, if this proposal fails, it will mean it's amongst us as opposition who want to see ANC continuously destroying our beautiful city. And we are calling on the DA and the EFF to stop petty politics.
But you know the position of the EFF, at the very least from yesterday. You know where the EFF stands insofar as the IFP is concerned. So clearly that one might not be possible, that particular proposal.
That is why, Mfundo, I made a proposal to councillors in eThekwini to say, look, how can we rescue eThekwini municipality? Yes, we know there's noise outside in the province, there's noise in the country, but how do we rescue eThekwini? Because at the moment, I can tell you, Malema can make noise sitting at Sentin, but he doesn't understand the pain we are feeling in eThekwini. So these EFF councillors understand the pain. You drive everywhere in eThekwini, you see sewer spilling all over. You drive anywhere, there are potholes, it's dirty. There are residents with no water for 3 weeks, residents with no electricity for 2 weeks. So that tells you there's something not working in eThekwini. So we need to rescue our but remember, voters voted for these parties. And I think the unfortunate part is this. We have 24 parties in this council. That's another problem. That is why we are proposing to say, you can't really say 24 parties can really reach some consensus in terms of sharing positions. Hence, we are saying there are 20 smaller parties, including ActionSA. Let's stay away from positions. Let's allow these three bigger parties to share power. We are not saying DA govern. We are not saying IFP or EFF govern. We are saying share power for the sake of our residents. We are doing this in the interest of our residents. We understand their perceptions about each political party. We might have different view about ideologies and ideologically how we perceive them, but we are saying, let's take this city. Let's really rescue our people in eThekwini. They are crying foul. And we can't really, as councillors in eThekwini, keep complaining about the ANC, where we've got power in our hands, and we're doing nothing about that. And we can't really punch on this one. If we can't really rescue residents, and I can assure you, Mfundo, all of us, as councillors in eThekwini, regardless of political parties, we must accept to take a blame, to say we've failed our residents. And we can't really keep complaining when we as councillors, we have power to save our city, but we are failing to save our city from the ANC.
Certainly residents are the biggest losers in all of this. But when you touch on the fact that the EFF leader is sitting in Sandton, at what level would you believe it would be more proactive to discuss coalitions? Shouldn't it be always, as they say, at a level higher than local government, because most of you would stand to benefit if you're in council, if you're a mayor negotiating for yourself? It becomes problematic. So with most of these parties, they say it has to be negotiated at a level higher than you who stands to benefit.
Look, my belief is the discussion must start at local level, but obviously sanctioned by national leadership. That's given. Look, our proposal says, as caucus leaders in eThekwini, let's have a discussion about what's best for our city. Then we go to our parties and say, there is a proposal before us. What is the view of leadership? Because the problem we are facing is this. This discussion at national level are not looking at issues per municipality. They look issues, holistic. Look, for example, the EFF was fighting with the IFP over Umhlatuze and eThekwini. Now, but because they can't agree with those two issues, they are now collapsing the entire governance in the entire province. How fair is that? So we are saying, let's look at what's best per municipality, because for us to have coalition that works, we must look at dynamics per province. Because, for example, there are some municipalities where the IFP be majority in terms of the minority parties, where also ANC is majority, or where also EIFF is the majority. So we must look at council to council, but obviously it must be sanctioned by national leadership to also avoid what you are saying, Mfundo, in terms of councillors being bribed by those who have money. Because it is true, we can't lie and say we don't know that. We know that money is at play here. Unfortunately, politicians are greedy. They are at a point where they are willing to sell their soul at the expense of residents, as long as they benefit. Because I can tell you right now, I can assure you, any party that will support the ANC tomorrow, that party, those individuals have been given money. I can assure you of that much. Because all parties that are prepared to work with the ANC right now is because there's something that's been offered to them. Because I can tell you, you can do an interview with all those parties, ask them, do they believe ANC have done enough to save this city? They will tell you no. Then the question, why you support them? That's a simple question. Why then you support the same party that every election? The reason why you've got 24 parties in eThekwini is because everyone believes ANC have messed up this city. That is why they contested power. So if anyone believed ANC is doing well in eThekwini, why did they contest? Why you've got 24 parties in this council? It's because everyone was saying to voters, we are tired of the ANC, we want to remove the ANC. Now you have a chance to remove the ANC, but now you run away from power. That is why we're saying, even the DA, they mustn't run away from this. They mustn't run away from this, because they keep making noise about ANC failing. But now we're saying, there's a proposal, take over the city. We are prepared to give you power. And I can show you, Mfundo, last night I had a meeting with other parties, and they are consensus to say, look, we need to rescue our city. We need to give these parties power. Unfortunately, DA didn't attend this meeting. I don't know why. But the point is, we are saying, DA can't run away. You are the majority party amongst us as opposition. We are saying, take a responsibility. You've been making noise. We agree with you. eThekwini is collapsing. Let's rescue eThekwini. We have 127 seats to unseat the ANC. Why are we complaining about the ANC when power is on our hands as councillors in eThekwini?